But first of all,
You're listening to That Girl B
and Ginger Tea,
and you're locked into the But First of All podcast.
Slow down when you roll that. Badam badam dum dum. Girl, you hot explosion. Badam badam dum dum. Any man that leave you. Dadam dadam dum dum. Spotlight, let me see.
I'm gonna write myself a little bit of a soaking tune. I think it's time.
I think you'll be good.
I think
You've got a good voice.
I think it's that time.
No, you've actually got a
I mean,
really
but
good
how many
voice.
things I want to do? There's too many. There's too many things. Where do I find
Jack
the time?
of all trades, master of none.
First of all, this is right off the first 40 seconds because Becky clearly has no manners. But hello, everybody.
Hello.
We're so happy to be here again. We're actually here on a different day. Normally we record on a Wednesday, and today we're recording on a Saturday. And I'm not sure how I feel about it right now.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
It might be better or it might be... Don't know.
Yeah,
We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah. But that's
yeah.
where we're at. So, how was your week? It's a long time because obviously it's like a week and a half.
I know.
don't
I
even
feel
know
like
where
I
to-
haven't. No, because you know, good afternoon, good morning, all of that. Why ain't you done that? You missed that
I mean, good afternoon, good morning.
Whenever you're listening.
I mean, it doesn't have to be the same every week. Honestly, can you just tell her that it's not that deep? It really is not that deep. Seriously.
Whatever.
So, how was your week, babes?
My week was actually painful because because I hurt my shoulder on Friday and I don't know what's wrong with it, and it's just like hurting me every time like I move it, and so all week I've just like been dealing with work.
No, but can I say that? So Becky tried to get an appointment for her arm, right? And her doctor's surgery does this thing where they have to go in the app and do their symptoms, and then the app decides whether or not they get an appointment or not. Listen,
The app told me because I'm thinking that it's 4 days now. My arm proper hurting me now. Like, I have to carry laptop to work and from work. Like, it was getting too much. So I'm like, okay, let me get a doctor's appointment. See what I want. I have to now go on this app. Then they have to now put your symptoms in, and you have to answer all these questions. And it said, at this time, you do not require an appointment.
see, and this is the problem.
Please
But this is the
put an
problem.
ice pack on it.
This is the problem with the current state of the NHS, like, because how on earth can you rely on an app to tell you whether or not someone else is in a particular
it's
amount of pain?
actually
I'm
ridiculous.
sorry, but I create dramas in the GP surgery all the time. The receptionists don't like me, and I don't care, babes. I don't care, because if I call up and I ask you for an appointment and you go, what's the problem? I'm gonna say to you, sorry, I didn't know you had a doctor's degree. I didn't know you went to medical school. I'll tell the doctor what my symptoms are.
But
No, man.
But you know what it is? I think one of the problems is the fact that there's just not enough staff, and they can't take appointments. So they have to it's like this is their way of putting something in there to manage
It is,
the appointment.
But it's also
at
a
the
way.
same time,
It's also a way for them to manage who comes in the GP surgery and who gets to be seen, because there is this assumption around black women and that we should be able to take a certain level of pain, and this is the problem when we use GP services and we go to certain places, because they never believe that we are actually in a certain level of pain that we are actually in. Listen, I've been in a GP and I've sat in there and I said to the woman, I said, if you don't make referral to the hospital, I'm gonna sit here all day and I'm gonna sit with you and the rest of your patients. So what now? Because you can't. I've been here.
Did she give you a referral?
Of course she did. Because what's she gonna do? Like even like if you like you're feeling a bit down or you've got like showing signs of low mood and you want your GP to take you seriously, don't go in there looking dishevelled and like a working class. Go in there, tie up your hair properly, because you're gonna get what you want that way. Because they're not gonna, because they make this assumption that, okay, if you look a certain way, you're just trying to get whatever out of the system, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But obviously, if you look proper and you're acting proper, then maybe you really are sick. Listen, shut the hell up. So don't let anyone ever tell you that your pain is not real. Sorry.
It's just annoying because now it's just like, so I'll put ice pack in it, and now what? It's still hurting. So I just want to say, it's now Saturday, so it's been 7 days since my arm started hurting me, and it's still hurting, and I'm not allowed an appointment unless I lie on the symptoms.
I would lie on it. I would lie.
So that I can get an appointment and I can actually get in there, because they don't take phone calls no more. They don't allow that. Every time you ring up, we use the app, please.
No, I'd go in there.
Use the app, please.
I'd go in there and I'd tell Jackie, babes, I don't have a phone that does apps, so can you can you do something? Can you go on your little computer, do the little typey thing, and get me an appointment? Because listen, GP receptionists, they make me so mad. The one in mine, every time I see her, she'll be like, right. Oh, listen, if you right me again, I'm gonna right you outside the door.
Don't resort to violence now.
No, but sometimes with these people, you have to scare them a little bit because they already think you're angry.
Do you know what? That reminds me of a meme that says sometimes you've got to be disrespectful to show people that you was being respectful the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, don't.
Because when I start shouting in the GP now you want to look at me like I'm crazy. But when I was talking, you wasn't listening. You wasn't listening.
Active listening, guys.
Yeah.
That's key.
Oh, so that's Becky's.
So that was my week. That's my drama week, you know.
Before I go to my week, can I just tell you something that happened just before we came here? So Becky was obviously coming to my house so that we can come to the studio, right? So the doorbell rang, and obviously I didn't have any trousers on, and I just bust open the door and walked away from the door because I figured it was Becky. So after like 10 seconds, I was like, how come nobody ain't coming? Listen, it was DPD. It was the DPD man, so the my whole body. And he was like,
no drawers,
this
nothing.
is him.
Raw brown bum.
This is him. He was like, right, I ain't had a welcome like that in a long time. But first of all,
service with a smile.
The joke is, it wasn't even my parcel. It's like the neighbour's parcel, and he's like, "I can take this for your neighbour." And I'm looking at him like,
that serves you right for opening the door all the time, half naked or
well, it was
whatever.
supposed to be you,
but it wasn't.
But
you didn't check. You didn't even check. You didn't even
Guys,
check.
I can't be the only person that
opens the front door half naked.
Yeah, I can't be the only person that does that.
Please,
to
if
people,
you do
to
that,
people
if anyone
who are my people.
No, because you didn't know it was your people. You didn't know.
But I had a right to assume it was you. And I didn't have no DPD parcel coming to my house, so it shouldn't have been the postman. The postman already came.
That doesn't mean nothing.
Yes, it does.
It doesn't.
Anyways,
no, we're not anyways in nothing.
Just tell Becky that she's wrong, and it's not actually my fault.
If anyone opens their front door without checking who it is first, half naked, please let us know if you do that.
Stick it for real.
But first of all, slogan tees are now available. Hit us up for prices and designs.
Video is the deal, yeah.
So apart from that, how was your week?
It was okay. I can't even know what I've done this week. Nothing really. Just gone to work, done work stuff. It's actually been really long at work, to be honest, and I'm just ready for Christmas. I'm ready for the office to close, so I can just sit with my own family, spend time with my own family, not other people's.
Can't wait I'm literally counting down how many physical days I have to be in the office until I break, or working from home, and I've got 7 actual days in the office until I can break. I'm counting them down one by one.
Trust me.
I can't wait. So meme section. I wanted to talk about memes that have been that are quite triggering to people. Quite triggering. So Tani sent me a meme the other day, and she was highly triggered by this meme. Hold on, let me see what did I even save the meme? Or it was something along the lines of, flat-chested women love to talk too much shit, but what do you have to talk about because you ain't got nothing to get off your chest?
I'm gonna be funny, but I'll talk as much shit as I want to. That's what I'm saying to you lot right now. I'm gonna talk as much shit as I can, because who makes those things? No, man, I don't think that they're acceptable.
Do you know?
I found it. So it says, why do small titty chicks talk the most shit? What could they possibly have to get off their chest? So you're saying that I can't talk shit because I ain't got no breasts?
Yeah, because you got nothing to get off your chest.
Can you shut up?
Sorry, I can't. Do you know? I mean, I can talk shit, innit? I'm allowed to talk shit. According to the meme, I can talk shit. Tani, you have to lower your shit talking count because you don't really have much to get off your chest.
Just for effect, I'm giving Becky the dirtiest of looks. If looks could kill right now, she'd probably be on the floor.
That's not nice.
Well, stop doing that.
And then that's one other one that I think will trigger quite a few people. It says, "You guys learned the word toxic and ain't shut the fuck up since."
Everything is toxic. Everything is toxic. This toxic that. It is. I do it too. I'm always like, no, he's toxic. That's hella toxic. Nah, I can't do these toxic behaviors. I'm at work being like, no, I can't take this toxic environment.
I'm not being funny. The whole of 2019, we have not shut up about toxic, and that's it. And that is literally the funny. I'm sorry. Listen, you lot don't understand how much memes really tickle my fancy. Honestly, they really do tickle my fancy.
Have you got any more?
I'm trying to.
Oh, I made a couple memes this week, and I posted them on the ButFirstOfAll page, and I feel like they should have got more appreciation, to be honest. But you know, I really worked hard at them, you know, and I kind of feel a little bit offended.
Yeah, guys, you know, like, share, comment the memes. You know, get our memes out there. They're quite funny. If you've got any suggestions as well about funny memes, you see if we can make them. What's the best one you've made?
I think it's the one with the wrestler. So there's one with the wrestler, yeah. And I posted it on the page. So obviously, if anyone hasn't seen it, obviously go on the Insta. It's at ButFirstOfAll, obviously all spelled correctly. And it basically says, give me a second. I'm sorry, because I think that they're funny. So I don't know why nobody else thinks that they're funny. Hold on 1 second. So what it says is, it's basically a wrestler and like someone kind of wrestling them from the ground. And it says, when you come, but he won't stop licking your clit. How funny! How funny! And he's probably wrestling and twisting up. You know when you twist up on the bed? you twist up. But you're like, no, stop, I'm sensitive.
You're arching your back in ways you never thought you could arch your back. Listen. All I'm saying
but why don't they listen? Why is it that they don't listen?
Because
do they like that?
Yeah,
that you're squirming.
I think that turns them on.
You're not weird. What's that? Stop
it.
Turns
them on. It actually turns them on. Like they like the idea that the pleasure that they're giving is so much that you can't take it, and your body is doing all sorts of weird acrobatic shit that it couldn't do before. That is like they're
yeah, but stop now,
big man, innit?
Yeah, but you need to get out of there. You need to get out of there.
Well, I'm sorry. That's what they're thinking. Then that's why. That is so funny. Or what about the one you made about, was it Karen or Susan? Why can't you get your own man?
Kathy just wanting to know why you can't find your own man. Kathy's standing at the door. Kathy's standing at the door, all quiet, and the man's like, so you know that.
Listen,
Kathy doesn't want to say anything, but she wants to know why you can't find your own man. You know why? You know why she can't find her own man? Because Kathy can't open up her own mouth. That's why.
But could you imagine being ambushed by the man you was doing, and his woman and the people, and he's saying to you, my woman just wants to know why you can't find your own man. Can you get out, please?
Yeah, I'll be like, the two of you.
Get out, stop wasting my time.
Because you're wasting my time. You're honestly...
That's absolutely funny.
Oh, wait, before we move on to our actual segment, we got an email this week.
The most amazing, you know. Love the support.
Do you know what? I can't find it.
Oh, should have been prepared.
Found it. Shush. So it says, first and foremost, the People Man segment for me is my favorite part of the podcast. I don't know why I'm so inner and interested in people's business. I mean, the thing is, where does the real ones? Because we express being interested in it. Everyone else wants to do up. Oh no, I doesn't mind people's business. I doesn't mind.
Tanty's out.
Shut the hell up. I doesn't mind people's business. That is not what I do. But people, that's real. The people admitting that they like people's business. Do you know?
Listen, everyone loves people's business. Done. Seriously.
Done deal. Done. The energy you two have is amazing. You two really bounce off each other like ink and pen. Episode 5 was really in depth and covered actually a variety of subjects. Accountability is something most people don't have anymore. Yes, the men learning to understand and accept that when a woman is talking her truth or how she feels, it's not a personal attack. Too many times we love to listen to reply and not to actually understand. The people man sometimes are getting too chatty and being chatty patty. It works both ways. Sometimes man fuck girl and give relationship advice afterwards. Laugh out loud. This person said they like the doer. It's sticking.
Whoop, whoop.
And then he also said, you know, people get comfy literally when creeping people, and they don't need to do the ins and outs of your life. So he's basically referring to the thing we said at the end last week with the people and the doer and the people man. And he's basically saying, like, you can do what you're doing, but let's keep our lives separate. Let's keep the actual ins and outs of our business, you know, our business.
But do you know what? in saying that, I think that sometimes if communication is not had between the doer and the people man about what the situation really is, then that's when lines are blurred. Do you know what I mean? Because if you make it clear this is just a thing, like it's nothing more than that, then yeah, you know, you are going to be, I don't need to know your business. You live your separate life, I live mine. But if you're going to be doing it and then you lot are doing up goals,
yeah, you
like
do not
behind the scenes,
relationship
though, like,
things.
but the thing is, you're only doing that up behind closed doors because you can't be doing it up. So you're doing all of these cute things, but then you feel so comfortable to the point where,
So you messed up the whole thing, basically. You need to stop that. That's it. And then someone else said to me, that for the girl that sent in the people man thing, it's simple. She just has to say to the man, you can't be in my front and in your feelings. Decide which one you want, because you can't have both. So you can either be it.
But do you know what? Yeah,
you can either, you can't be in the front and in your feelings. So you pick one. You can't be here and there.
You know what? Whoever said that, I'm baiting them out because they took that from a BET series.
Yeah.
Don't act like that's your words and you've got bands, you know. Don't come to us acting like you've got bands, because sorry, I've seen that already. And there's a show and the woman is in the bed with the man. She's in the bed with the man and she's on the phone organising the next date with the next man. So then the guy in the bed is looking at her like, really? Are you gonna really like have that conversation? And she said, listen, you can't be in my bed and in my feelings at the same time. Pick one.
What?
Are you rude?
I mean, if I was in my, I'm going home. I'll get it.
You know he didn't.
Of course he didn't. People. Of course he didn't. Of course he didn't. And just for one thing, just, you know, if you do feel like, for anyone who feels like they're in love with the people man, yeah, you're not in love. You're in hell with a man who will never live up to the dreams he sold you. There you go. That's it.
Follow at by Noel Beauty, that's BYNOEL Beauty, for all mink eyelashes and beauty products to come.
We're going to change it up a bit this week. We're going to talk about growth and personal growth. So I guess a different definition for personal growth for me is, I guess, an ongoing process of you kind of understanding yourself, I guess, in order to be the best that you can be and achieve your full potential.
Deep.
Yeah, and I guess that maybe personal growth is actually the way that you grow, or how you grow is the foundation for your own, you know, emotional, physical, intellectual and spiritual health.
Deep. Do
you agree?
No, yeah, I agree. I think, and the thing is with growth, it's never ending. That's the thing about personal growth. To me anyway, it's never ending. You're always learning about yourself. You're always learning new ways of how to deal with things.
Why do we need to, why and what do we need in order to grow as people?
That's a tricky one, because it's literally all different for depending on who you are, depending on how you deal with things. But I think for me, I needed positive people around me. I need definitely positive people around me, and I needed to get out of certain ruts that I was in, like certain situations that I were in order for me to kind of see, you know, where I went wrong. So I don't know, it's really weird, because sometimes I think, okay, I need space, then sometimes I think I need positivity around me, then sometimes I feel like I need therapy so I can understand what all of these thoughts are going in my head, because I feel like right now I am in a whirlwind of personal growth. However, I feel like I've got to a standstill, and I feel like I'm stuck at a place. I feel like this year I feel like I was really doing good, and I feel like I've got to this rut and I can't seem to get out of it, and I really don't know what I need to do next to continue that growth. Yeah.
There's two things I feel about personal growth. I think that there's a point where in society nowadays where we've kind of been pushed to kind of achieve, and then we don't actually realize why we're looking for all these achievements. Like, so are we looking for happiness in these achievements? Like, are we actually kind of using these achievements and actually, like, you know, being happy with them and appreciating what you've actually achieved? Or are we just achieving something? Like, I'm the kind of person who will achieve something and then not even take no time in that, just ready to do the next thing. So I'm always looking to do something else, and I think that that's because we've been focused. We're so focused on growth and moving on to the next thing that we don't actually appreciate the things that we have actually done, the things we have actually experienced, the things we have actually achieved.
Why do you think? Oh no, not even why do you think? What do you think are factors in society now that is the cause of why people are in this where everything is on to the next and they're not taking time to appreciate?
I guess everyone's chasing a dream. Everyone's chasing this ideal dream, or this everyone is chasing this thing called happiness, but are we looking for it in the right places? Like, are we looking for it in places that is actually going to make us happy, or are we using, I don't know, material things to be our happiness and then not actually feeling happy, so then needing to achieve something else or needing to do something else? And that cycle's just continuing, because whenever you do something, you're like, all right, cool, what next? That's what I do. Honestly, as soon as I do something, I'm like, all right, what do I do? What do I do now? If I'm at home all day, I'll be like, okay, what am I going to do now? I'm always trying to do something. I'm always trying to complete something or finish something. And I don't feel like I actually appreciate the achievements that I have done.
Do you know what? Do you know your achievements? Like, could you sit there and be like, boom, I've achieved this without having to think about it? Or
yeah, I could, because I'm very good. Like, what I think about personal growth is that the only way that we grow, like when we don't grow, is because we sit in places where we're really comfortable, where we know things. So we sit in our comfort zone. So as soon as we then deviate from our comfort zone, and we then reach the learning zone. So the only way that we learn is from throwing ourselves into situations where we are uncomfortable. I'm very good at that. Like, I will always throw myself into situations where I'm uncomfortable. I will always take jobs where I'm a little bit uncomfortable, where I'm not really sure it's me or if it is me. But I always do that. So I can note down those kind of achievements because I can see them. But it doesn't mean that when I've done them, I'm like, oh yeah, I've done that. I'm like, okay, cool, I've done that. Now what am I going to do next?
So are you doing any of them out of joy?
I think, this is what I'm trying to say. I don't know. Because I guess some of them are fun, or some of them maybe were fun, and then when you've now added a whole lot of work into it, it becomes, when something was a hobby, it now becomes a little bit more of a chore. And then I guess maybe then at that point you then start looking for something else to do, because you're like, okay, this is getting a bit long, I don't want to do this. Or I don't know. I think a few of them I do out of joy, and a few of them I think I just do because it just felt like I should be doing something and I should move something. So like, I'll be at a job for like 2-3 years, and then I'm like, ah, cool, I've done this now, so what am I gonna do now? That's it. What am I gonna do next? Or I'll get a new job, and then 2 weeks later I'm looking at jobs on the website. Why are you looking at jobs? You just got this job, so what are you doing?
Because maybe that is that thing where you are chasing your happiness, but the problem is you don't know your happiness because you haven't taken time out to sit
reflect
down
on it, yeah,
and actually find out what
is it you like.
What is happiness?
Yeah,
what is it that makes you happy? Because I think that people believe, and I think that social media has
lied to us,
has convinced everybody that success and achievement means a name for yourself, a certain amount of followers, a certain amount of credibility, and all of these situations. And that does not mean achievement and success, because you could be doing something that you say for example, you've got someone who's a poet and they like to, you know, write short poems, and they like to do it out of their passion because they want to express. They go and make an Instagram account. They've got, you know, 100 followers, but, you know, they're regularly posting and they have really good interaction with, you know, them and their 100 followers. And then you'll have someone else that's got 10,000 followers doing the same thing. And guess what? People are going to say that 10,000 person has achieved
more. Yes,
has achieved.
It's true. What is achievement? What is growth? And I
but
guess,
what if that person who's got that 100 followers feels happiness because
Yeah.
what they're doing what they love with 100 people who also love it, and is giving them 100 times of love back. Do you understand? So they are actually feeling so achieved, but then everyone around them is now coming at them like, you ain't achieved nothing, you've only got this, you've only got that. You know, those are the types of things that will then make that person turn around and think, rah, have I really achieved the goal? Was this the goal? Then they, do you know what I mean? And all of those things, it's just like, then they start chasing that dream.
The dream.
But was that really your dream, to be the baddest poet with the, you know what I mean, famous and traveling? Was that really your dream, or was that the dream because people thought you didn't achieve nothing because you...
And that's the only thing that you achieved.
It's a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah, and also it's also that thing of like, there's a lot of people on social media who are saying they're doing this, and the other, and this, and the other, and they don't do with their business. So whatever they have got right now, they're either going to keep it for a while, or they're not going to, because
it's this self. But then I also think that a lot of the drive comes from the fact that a lot of people, young people especially, are really realizing, well, that I feel that we're realizing that they need to make their own. They need to get their shit on point, make their own, make their money, make because what's outside the world, society, is not for you.
But then also it's that thing of like, we have been conditioned to believe, that the goal of life is to be happy, but the goal of life is probably to feel every single emotion. And if we don't accept that there are feelings of sorrow and feelings of sadness, then that's all we do, is look for happiness. Because we're not accepting that the feelings that we do have, the feeling sad, feeling low, these are all valid feelings, and we need to feel those. It doesn't make you a bad person for feeling that way. It doesn't make you like less of a person because you feel that way. It just means that you have got a particular feeling right now.
But then that's different to say. It's different to saying, okay, a situation has happened and you understand that you do have to go through all the emotions, than someone that's sitting there and they are sad every day because they literally feel like they have nothing. They've got nothing to show for themselves, nothing, absolutely nothing. And they are sad every single day. So that's okay then.
It's not that it's okay, but there probably is a point with that person where they're so focused on the fact that they are sad that they can't see the other positive things that are going on around them, because they've been conditioned to believe that there's a particular type of happiness.
Okay, so what about someone who is home, who has just lost their house, ain't got nothing, and is about to be declared homeless?
But obviously that's completely different. I'm talking about in a circumstance like that's obviously not.
Yeah, they're sad. Like they're sad, and they've.
I'm not saying that kind of sadness. And obviously there are mental health issues and stuff like that. I'm just saying that we have been conditioned to believe that as people, like feeling sad is not a good thing, or feeling that, or it's not a thing. But it's an emotion that we're all human. Like we should feel sad. We should feel certain emotions. We can't be happy all the time.
Do you think that people don't acknowledge that?
I definitely think so.
I don't know. I think people.
What do you guys think? Do you guys think that? Because I do. I feel like, like people just are chasing that. Like, for example, on social media, people will always post these high moments and these great moments. However, people rarely will post the real sadness points they have in their life. They will rarely post those.
But the reason why people don't post that is because of the fact that everyone attacks them, because everyone expects you to be perfect. So people are now, know.
So that is a society thing. But then
that person still knows that they are dealing with it, and they just know that, okay, this platform that I'm able to share my successes with, I can't share that same platform with my sadness
because I'm not allowed to be sad. No, because I'm not allowed. Because I'm not allowed to. I'm not. Because obviously, I know that if I do share this sad thing, people are gonna look at me funny, or they're gonna make some weird comments, or they're gonna say something to me that's not gonna be helpful. It's not gonna be nice, like the things they say when I do great things. Whereas we can do those things. Someone can share a sad post, and we can say, what's going on, or I feel the same way, or whatever. And
you know what I think? I think the problem has become the fact that this thing about banter, right? And I think that's what a lot of the problem is because someone posts, you can get an influencer, and they're posting all of these high moments, and everyone's giving them all these praise, and then something happens, and then they're posting up that they're going through this or they're going through that, and then all of a sudden everyone wants to come with their comments, their trolling, and then pass it off as banter. But it's just like, are you serious? Like, do you actually know what you're saying? And
it's that thing of like, if so many people are gonna like come at you negatively, and we know that this happens a lot on social media, you're gonna start feeling a type of way, because it's like you're not allowed to have a certain opinion, or you're not allowed to feel a certain way about something.
It's so weird because I saw something on Twitter, and I'm not going to get it 100% because I can't remember everything, but I know the gist of it. And it was basically some music award show in America, and an artist, really can't remember her name. I think something along the lines of she was in the nomination, she didn't get it or something, or she felt like someone else deserved it. And she really expressed some sort of like real disappointment about how black people and women are treated and all of this stuff, and she expressed things that she's going through, like mental health illness or whatever, and the whole world literally attacked this woman, like attacked her and saying that she was doing too much and she just needs to sit down. But it's just like,
she's expressing her sadness, and I
don't get this thing of, when it's necessary, everyone wants to jump on the bandwagon and protest this and say that this is wrong, and we need to come together and we need to be able to express ourselves and stuff. And then when someone does it,
the Twitter police come. I hate when I tweet something.
Then when someone does it,
the Twitter police.
It's like, oh no, you can't save that, go do this. We don't care about that. We don't want to see that. And it's just like,
first of all, it's my platform to write whatever the hell I want. Yeah,
it's so weird because they want to, especially when you're following all these people, everyone wants to be screaming, keep it real, we want to know the real you, we want to know if you're really like this, we want to know if you really do these. So then when people are keeping it real and they're showing you all areas, you want to turn around and diss that person. You can't have it both ways. Like I think you're right what you're saying. You can't have it. It's a bit stupid, isn't it? It's a bit dumb, isn't it? So I can show you that I'm happy, but I can't show you that I'm sad.
But that's what people do. And the thing is, I guess when people do share low points of their life, they're sharing particular events. So it might be like a loss in the family or stuff like that, where they know they're going to get a certain type of reassurance, where you're never going to write today. Do you know what I mean? When you do that, people, they either won't comment on it, or they'll read it and think, oh, that's weird. I'm not going to say nothing to that person about it.
Or then you have that oh look, that person's seeking attention. Why do I have to be? I think that's a tricky one, because to what extent
does it become attention seeking? But then why don't we say that about when people write positive things? Why don't we say they're attention seeking when they're writing all this good stuff that they're doing?
I feel like people do. It's not as strong. It's not as much, but I think people do. But
you would never. But 9 times out of 10, you don't roll your eyes at their post going, "Oh, look at them attention seeking." You're like, "Oh, they did that. Oh, rah."
I guess it depends what they're boasting about, innit? If they're boasting about things that are that achieve, I guess, and that's subject to people, because what you might think is boasting, I might think is, oh, that's quite good, you know what I mean? But if you're one of those people that think that your achievements are materialistic, so you're always posting up your materialistic things that you can afford or that you can achieve, get out of here, mate. That's the tendency.
For your cakes, follow at sistercakes.london, especially known for their Nubian range. before we wrap this one up, I just want to say that. So I found this model called the comfort zone. I've used it like at work before, yeah. And it's basically talking about how at what stage do we start to grow, yeah. So it's got like four circles, 4 circles, yeah. And the first circle, the smallest circle, is your comfort zone. So obviously what it's saying is you feel safe when you feel in control. Obviously but no learning happens at that point where you're in that zone. No learning happens at that point because obviously you're so comfortable, you're completely in control. The next circle is the fear zone, where you're kind of more affected by what other people think. You're finding a lot of excuses for not doing certain things, and obviously there's probably a slight lack of like self-confidence in terms of how you're going to move forward. You then go into your learning zone. This is where you start to extend your comfort zone. So your comfort zone now becomes bigger because you're now dealing with actual challenges and actual problems, and at this point is where we start to acquire new skills.
So is he saying that we should be following that sort of circle?
Well, not following it, but it's just saying that obviously if you are in a situation where you are really comfortable, just know that you're never going to learn from that. If you're really comfortable in that, you're not going to learn anything, because that is your comfort, that's your space, that's where you feel most comfortable. You know it, you're in control there, so nothing's going to deviate out of the norm because this is your comfort zone. So then when you try to come out of it and you get scared, that's called the fear zone. So when you're scared is when when you start to make excuses, and obviously what you have to do, you have to push through that. Rather than making excuses, you have to go into the next zone, which obviously is where you start to learn. And obviously and then the final circle was called the growth zone, and that's when you start to you've set new goals, you've conquered certain objectives, and that is where you can actually see your growth and see it happening.
So that's interesting, because this is going to kind of contradict what I said earlier when I said that I think that you're always room for personal growth. However, what if in that comfort zone that is your happiness? Is that saying that if you are in a comfort zone, you need to get out of it because you can't stay in a comfort zone too long? Can you get to a comfort zone at a certain point in your life and that's it?
I guess you probably can if you are happy there, but just know that in that comfort zone, if you are going to stay in that one bubble, you are never going to learn anything else. And it depends on what kind of person you are, because if you're somebody who's really determined to learn loads and I don't know, fight everything in I don't know how to describe it, but if you're somebody who really likes to learn and likes to achieve, that comfort zone is never going to be a happy place for you. It's going to be a place and a place that you like, but it's never going to be somewhere where you're growing through anything, or you're being able to actually learn new skills, because you've already learned everything there. And this might be also why some relationships die, because you're in a comfortable place with somebody, and you just sit there comfortably. No one ever learns anything. No one ever deviates from that norm. You never move forward in anything, and you have to step out and start. You and your partner both have to introduce each other to things that might be a little bit scary, that the other person might not want to do. But you should know that your partner's never going to bring you into something that's going to harm them. Yeah. So that at that point, when someone asks you to do something and you're like, oh no, I'm not comfortable with that, rethink that, because that thing might be something that teaches you something. Even with at the point where you're at work or whatever, and you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this, and maybe I shouldn't do that, because you're a little bit uncomfortable. Those uncomfortable situations are where you learn the most. But I have put myself in so many.
That is literally me in this podcast, because for so long, for so many years, people have been saying to me, Becca, you've got the voice for radio voice. You've got that voice. Like, your calling is not behind a desk or nothing. Your calling is some sort of job where you're using your voice to do whatever. And I've always been like, yeah, I know. But, I've always had that fear. Like, I've always known that I could do that, actually. Like, I really could do it. And then it was literally this year, I just thought to myself, just do it. There's a platform for it.
Yeah, just do it.
Just do it. And I'm really, really enjoying, like, honestly, this is one of my personal growths, guys.
Exactly.
This, but first of all, is literally one of my personal growths.
And that's what it is. And I think that, because I also think that when I was younger, my mum used to force me to do all these random little things, like just these little clubs, like go and do that for the evening, because my mum was always at work. So she was like, just go and do that, or go and do this. And I was always like, I don't want to go, like, I don't want to go by myself. And mum was like, you need to go there. Go. And make sure when you get there, you call me. And if you're not there, it's going to be problems, yeah? And so many times I felt really uncomfortable. And a lot of the times, everything my mum sent me to do when I was those ages there, when I came out at the end of it, it was one of the best things I'd ever done, and shaped the beginning of my professional career, shaped kind of the person I am. Like, that doesn't mean to say that I'm never uncomfortable with situations, but I am very good at
And just throwing yourself
and very good
into
at
it.
uncomfortable situations and thinking about this is going to make me uncomfortable. I can acknowledge that, but I can also acknowledge that I do have to do this, and when I do it, I probably am going to feel a lot better about it on the other side.
That's good.
Yeah. So a little bit of Monday motivation for you there, guys. You know, we can all grow. Growth is obviously you can grow at your own rate. Just because you didn't achieve something that you set out doesn't mean that the course may be changed, but the goal remains the same.
And always remember, okay, you might not have achieved it, but even if you've done one thing towards that, you've still done something.
The course changed. The way you're gonna get there has changed. However, the goal is still there. Just because you've missed a few steps or because you haven't done certain things by a deadline, you can still do them. Don't put time limits on certain things when you don't
watch others, watch yourself. Watch how your personal growth is growing, watch how you deal with it, because you can never go by someone else's timeline or what someone else is doing, or even if you and that person started something around the same time, like, do you, and you will feel so much happier for it.
Exactly. Yeah. So now the people man.
And the doer.
The people man and the doer. So we can't. This one's gonna be a bit. We need to. You guys, you have to listen because it's gonna get a little bit confusing. So I was reading this thing that I sent to Becky that we literally were like, how do we dissect this? So basically, the doer has been obviously sleeping with the people man. Yeah. However, the doer's friend has now got pregnant by the people man. so that girl, the friend, was sleeping with the people man. Is that right, Becky?
Yeah.
Sleeping with the people.
Yeah,
the people's man. People man.
The people's man's people's man.
Yeah, the people's man's people. Yeah, that's it.
The people's man, people's man. I think that's it. Well, that's what we came up with, and I think that worked. But
I don't know.
But the doer, so you got the people and the man.
Yeah, they're in a relationship.
The people and the man are in a relationship, and then you have the doer who is sleeping with same man, the people man.
Yeah.
The doer has a friend. Okay, that friend is also sleeping with the people's man. And
is pregnant.
Is now pregnant. so the people isn't pregnant. The doer isn't pregnant.
The friend is having a baby by the people man. Do you know what? I'm not being funny, but you lot are taking this far now. This is going really far now. Like, honestly, it's going so far.
I never thought
I'd hear something so ridiculous.
I would hear the fact that a doer is getting played by the people.
So the doer was on the internet chatting about
how her
friend is pregnant for the.
Her friend is pregnant,
but babe,
for her boo. But her boo is the people man.
Have you ever heard something so amazing in your life?
Seriously,
I want to interview everybody. I want to find out from everybody. The people man. Listen, I want to find out what the hell you was thinking. Sorry. I want to find out.
Sorry, I know I keep laughing, but I cannot believe that the audacity of that people man. You are sitting down there,
but the friend. How can you be sleeping with the friend, whatever it's called, do his man, whatever, and you didn't even use contraception? Guys, can you use contraception? Because that means that if you don't all having unprotected sex, you lot are swapping all kind of liquids.
Listen, that's absolutely
contraception is free.
Ridiculous.
It's free.
That's absolutely ridiculous. That's number one.
Yeah, it is. It's not. Ridiculous. It's disgusting.
And
HIV is real, guys.
How can the people man be so reckless to be using having unprotected sex, not with his main doer, but the friend? No, I'm sorry.
To be honest, he probably was having sex with her unprotected because that's probably his thing. He doesn't use contraception. She's probably got her own contraception that she's taking, so she doesn't get pregnant. This one here just thought.
This is so wild, guys.
People need to do better.
I need you not to tell me.
Is this
how
okay?
funny? No, how funny you find this? Because for me, we're at a high 10. We're at a high 10 of laughter.
So what do you do now? Do you continue sleeping? If you're the doer, do you continue sleeping with the people man?
Do you have a right as the doer to feel some type of way?
Of course you don't.
But your friend is sleeping with the guy you're sleeping with, and she knows it.
the guy that you were sleeping with, you knew that he likes to run around town because he's people man. So I mean, you can be mad and feel disrespected by your friend, but that man must have whispered something sweet in your ear for you to be there too.
Proper calling them out. Listen, I would love to meet those people.
Listen,
I'd love to meet
I want to
them.
interview them. I want everyone to sit here. I want us all to kumbaya. I want us all kumbaya in the studio.
Well, it will be like the meme. Kathy, why can't you
Kathy,
find
yeah,
find your own?
And that wraps it up. And that Kathy,
listen,
Kathy, can you find your own man
find your own man
and get pregnant?
And we're out.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Guys, before we go, we might have a special guest next week. Not telling you who it is yet, but we may have a special guest next week.
Yes.
But have a have a wonderful week.
Enjoy.
Don't work too hard. Wrap up because it's cold. Drink your bush tea and
enjoy. Remember, follow us on our socials. Instagram @ButFirstOfAll, all spelled correctly. And